Hi guys. Hi, I'm Celeste. So, hi. I actually wanted to talk to you guys about something that I don't know why I haven't shown you yet, but it's pretty simple. Okay. So, yeah, I'm just gonna teach you guys. This is a video for beginners about, or it's for everybody. You can watch it. Like, I'm not gonna stop you. It really is for everybody. Yeah, but it is especially for beginners. Like, if you're a beginner, you're not gonna really be lost. At least that's what I'm trying to do. So we can, in the future, you guys can like ask me more questions, but I'm gonna make it as beginner friendly as possible. I'm just putting on earrings right now, but okay. So it's gonna be like, how would you start writing songs right now for beginners? Okay. I'm just gonna put on chapstick really quick and okay. So first, we are gonna start with what you want to write the song about. Now, that's okay if you don't know what you would want to write a song about. You ask yourself some questions to find out what song you want to write right now. And so you're gonna ask yourself, questions like, well, who are you in love with? Right? You're gonna ask yourself questions like that, obviously then you would be writing probably a song about someone who you have feelings for, right? Who do you have feelings for? Like, I don't know, you would ask yourself, like, have you ever been, like, bullied before? Is there something you would want to say to that person? Like, has someone been mean to you? Is there something you wanted to say? Like, well, it looks like we're in the middle of like a war in the world, right? Is there anything that you want to say about that you haven't said? Is there anything that, like, if you're a scientist, you might want to talk about science. Like, if you're a witch, you probably want to talk about magic. Like, that's obviously welcome. You can talk about whatever you want and you can phrase it the way that you want. So, you do want to start with your reason for getting into songwriting, and you want to start with your topic for your song. You want to have like some kind of idea, maybe of like, maybe you know who this is about, the song, right? Maybe you know who it's going to be about. Maybe you do, right? So, is there anyone that, like, basically, you know how people draft like a long version of like a breakup text or something? You don't have to make it a breakup text, you can just make it a song. Or if you're still gonna send it to them, you can write the first draft as lyrics before you like draft the final draft that you send to them. You were gonna write it anyways. You don't wanna like make money off of it? Imagine how iconic it would be though if they did whatever and then you write a song about it and then now you're the one who's like successful because of it. Imagine you get a whole career out of it because they did something to you. I'm gonna help you out. It's not hard. It's so painfully easy, but if you look around, nobody's doing it. It's so painfully easy to be successful, especially compared to the people you're currently around. And why would you want to do that? Well, I mean, there's a lot of reasons. Maybe you want money. Maybe you want money. Maybe you want to like upgrade in your life. Maybe you want a career. Maybe you want to just be doing better than them. Maybe you want to be cooler than them. Maybe it's because you want cooler people to see you as being on the same level as them, so you're not just one of the random people, right? There's a lot of people on the planet. You don't want to just be a random one. You want to be someone who's successful at something. And so, again, anything that you would want to say in any capacity, you can turn into a song. It's not hard. So I'll show you. So the first thing you're gonna do, you're gonna a couple of supplies you're gonna need, not a lot of supplies. So I have an iPhone, so you would wanna get a phone. I don't know, I just have an iPhone, so that's easier for all the steps I'm gonna tell you, but like, I'll explain it. But I'm sure there's ways with other phones, like you don't have to, but with an iPhone I know how to do it, so that's why I'm gonna explain it. Okay, so You can use like your notes app or whatever if you want, but you don't have to. So you're gonna get a whiteboard. You're gonna write verse 1. Okay, say somebody is like breaking up with you, okay? And you were about to send them a text, but you don't have to, because guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna write verse 1. And then, I know what you're thinking, there's a lot of like empty space, right? You're gonna only write it at the top. So there's a lot of empty space, all that space, okay? You're gonna start writing what you were gonna say to them, but on here, okay? That's not hard. You're gonna write it on here. And so, yeah, like it's super easy. You're gonna be like, let's see, you're gonna write whatever you want, but I'm just gonna write something funny. Not really funny. Phones don't exist is what I'm gonna write here. Because it's gonna be... Okay, so say verse 1 was phones don't exist. Honestly, that's kind of a short verse. Normally, I would say you should write it to like here, okay? Like, that would be like space you should fill up, okay? Because you don't want it to be like a 5-second song. Because like, it's not hard to be like phones don't exist. Like, that's like 1 second. So you don't really want it to be so short that it like doesn't exist, right? You want it to be like at least like a couple minutes probably, or like a minute and a half if it's a short song. You could do like short, but like you're gonna have a better career if you have longer songs also. So it's not hard to like beef up your catalog of songs, okay? So verse 1, phones don't exist, in the middle of your breakup song, because that's what this breakup is about. It's about whether or not phones exist, okay? So say you wrote verse 1. Now, oops, I just erased it, but so what are you gonna do when you have verse 1, phones don't exist, right? Verse 1. So what do we do when we have this written down? Because it's so easy, right? Everybody has like a whiteboard and a expo marker and an eraser at their house, or if they don't have it, Target has it, or Publix has it, or Walmart has it, right? Now the next step that most people get wrong is that they erase it on the board. That's what you probably did, right? That's the step that most people are really confused about. They just erase it on the board. What you do instead, if you want to turn it into a song, you're gonna go into Snapchat. I know what you're thinking. What? Why are we gonna go into Snapchat? That's not gonna do anything to this. But you're actually gonna hit record. And, you know, in one hand, you're gonna be recording it while you're singing this. You're gonna just find out the flow and you're gonna do it really quickly because you believe in yourself and you're confident and you can do it in 1 take or 5 takes, and it doesn't matter because it's short. Remember, small whiteboard. It's not hard. You can do this. That was verse 1. You really only need like 3 verses, dude. You need a chorus and you need a bridge. You can get that down to 2 verses and a chorus and a bridge if you want. You can maybe skip the bridge sometimes, but you need a chorus and a couple verses, okay? Okay? It's not hard. You can do this. What you need is confidence. What you need is confidence. It doesn't matter. You were gonna break up with them anyway. It doesn't matter what they think of you now. Come on. Come on. Come on. You know you were gonna write a breakup text to somebody. You could have just... I got to work. It's not hard. It's not hard. It's not a difficult career to have. It's not so hard that you can't do it. Again, so you're gonna be recording while you're gonna just sing verse 1. Only verse 1, okay? Make sure you just recorded yourself singing 1 take of verse 1. That's what you're gonna save to your camera roll, is 1 single take of yourself singing verse 1. So if you did more than 1, you're gonna make sure you only save the best one, okay? Don't make it hard. If they're all good, it doesn't matter which one. But that's why maybe you only wanna do 1 take or 2 takes unless you know it's terrible, okay? You're gonna do it so fast. You're gonna do it as fast as possible, okay? Okay. Like, it's not that deep, it doesn't matter. You're gonna do it. Don't leave yourself out of, like, trying to get $1 billion. Okay? Because maybe you don't get it, but you land on a lower number that's still money you didn't have. Or you end up meeting the best people you've met, stuff like that. Because you know what? Even if you don't get money out of it, which if you really try, you probably will. Because you're probably going to be good. Because you have confidence. If you're willing to do it, you're probably good. So if you made it this far, you're probably really good. You just don't know yet. So yeah, you're going to write whatever you want as verse 1. It doesn't have to rhyme. It doesn't really matter. You're just going to record yourself singing it. Okay? You can make it rhyme. You can do what you want. But it doesn't really matter if it does. You're just going to make sure there's a verse 1. You're going to sing it, okay? After you do verse 1, you're going to go back to your board and you're going to write verse 2. Okay? It's not hard. It looks like this before you do it. Then you're going to, again, write probably like half the board. Make sure it's filled up. Now you're going to go back to Snapchat. You're going to sing it. Okay? You're just going to sing it. It doesn't matter. You're just going to sing it. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect, if it sounds bad. It doesn't matter. You're going to sing it. Okay? Because it's not hard. Because that's how not hard it is, and that's how much you're going to look around, and you're going to be like, oh wait, it's so easy and nobody's doing it. Nobody's laughing at you. You don't have followers, first of all. And if you have followers, it means the number of money you're going to make isn't going to be 0. It's probably going to be $1 billion or $100 million or something crazy. If you actually have a substantial number of followers who are going to be laughing at you, they're going to be the ones buying tickets. So it doesn't matter. And if you don't have anybody who would buy tickets, nobody's laughing at you. Okay? It's not that hard. Nobody's laughing at you because nobody was going to be buying tickets yet. But if you keep going, somebody will, because they'll find out about you. It's not hard. They're not going to find out about the nothing that you're not doing. Like, it's not hard. Okay? So whatever you want on there. I don't know, dude. Who are you still in love with from like 10 years ago? Write it down. Write down what you would say to them. Probably don't put their name in it, but like write down everything you would say to them. It's not hard. You probably have something you would say to them or they wouldn't be coming to your mind. Dude, just write it down. It's not hard. It's so not hard. Like, painfully easy, right? You're not trying to make $1 billion off the fact that you're still in love with them and they're not in your life. Like, that's crazy. You're gonna go through all that and not try to make money off it? That's crazy. Why would you do that to yourself? You're not even gonna try to make money off it? That's crazy. You're gonna have feelings for somebody and not try to make money off it? That's crazy. Why would you ever do that? You're gonna get to work. Because guess what? You're very confident. That's the plan. That's the new you. Are you gonna write a song about how confident you are? Maybe. Maybe. Maybe you have something to say. Just do it, okay? And then after you have verse 2, you're gonna get the whiteboard and you're actually gonna write verse 3, which again is the part that a lot of people get wrong. A lot of people just stop. A lot of people give up. A lot of people say, ugh, maybe songwriting was for Michael Jackson. Maybe it's for Taylor Swift. Maybe it's for Beyonce. Maybe it's for Olivia Rodrigo. Maybe it's for somebody else. Literally anybody. Maybe it's for somebody who's on the charts. Like, they don't say, okay, which number on the charts am I gonna be as soon as possible? They don't say that. They say, maybe it's for somebody who's already out there. They don't say, how am I gonna get out there as soon as possible and get $1 billion? They don't say that. That's the part most people get wrong, which is why you're different than them. How do you become different from them? You write verse 3. You don't spell it wrong, but you write verse 3, okay? Like this. Was that hard? That's the part most people get wrong. That's the reason why most people don't make it this far. That's the reason most people are doing nothing in their lives. Because they didn't write down verse 3. That's the reason most people are not gonna have $1 billion, because they didn't write down verse 3 on the little whiteboard, okay? And then, see this line right here? Again, you're gonna fill it probably that much, okay? You're gonna make sure you filled up that with some writing. Again, continuing whatever you were writing about or adding something else or literally anything. Who do you want to talk to? It doesn't have to be a person, but like, what are you imagining? What spell do you want to do? You can write the whole thing as a spell. You could write the whole thing as a spell that's just spoken. And then you can give it to your followers and they can perform the spell themselves too, and they can get whatever benefits you put in the spell. You just write some words in your language, okay? Probably English, only because a lot of people speak it, but you can also do Spanish, you can do like Korean, you can do whatever. Whatever you speak, it does not matter. But again, you want to do a language that a lot of people can probably like access so that they can find you. But whatever language you write in, somebody speaks it. Why would you not do that? Okay. So yeah, again, the next step most people get wrong. Most people say, oh, verse 3, I just did verse 1 and 2, I can't do this. It only took me 2 seconds, but I can't do this. It's not for me, it's for somebody else. They say it's not for me, it's for somebody else. I don't know why it would be me. Most people can't get that far. So if you do want to not be like most people and you want to be better than them, you go in Snapchat and you start singing verse 3. Again, you guys can get this done tonight, like you have homework, it's not hard. Okay? It's just not hard. It's not hard. You can do it! Okay? So you're gonna sing that, you're gonna make sure you have verse 3 recorded of yourself singing it in your camera roll from Snapchat that you downloaded. Because it isn't hard. Because that's the step most people can't figure out because they think it's so hard. But you already have Snapchat probably. Maybe not, but download it. Okay? And then, I don't know how to do it without Snapchat. You probably just use your phone camera for singing. Okay? You just do whatever the most obvious solution is as soon as possible. Okay, the bridge. Most people get scared of the bridge. What is the bridge? Well, the bridge, you were kind of telling a story with verse 1, 2, and 3. Well, maybe not a story. Whatever you were talking about. The bridge is where you change it up and you give the audience some kind of information they didn't have about the story yet. So, you were writing about your breakup. The bridge is where you're going to say, just kidding. He's imaginary. She's imaginary. You say, just kidding. They actually broke up with me. Or the bridge is where you say, plot twist, you thought I was in a relationship, I'm not. Or the bridge is where you say you were writing about how you just got a new dog. Well, guess what? The bridge is where you say, actually I didn't, I just want one. The bridge is where you say, it's not a dog, it's a cat. You know? You were writing about sold out tickets to your stadium. Well, the bridge is where they find out all the tickets were sold for free. You know? Like, the bridge is where they find out the surprise they didn't know about. Okay? Okay. It's not that hard. The bridge is just, it's just in there. Okay? So for the bridge, you might want it to be shorter, you might want it to be longer, you might want it to be the same length, but you're probably kind of normal, so you're gonna be like, okay, that much, right? You're just gonna fill that space up. You're gonna be like, blah, 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 whatever I wanted to say to you. Okay, cool. Okay? Really, okay? Not hard, not easy homework. Easier than your school homework and stuff, but you might make money off this, dude. Especially if you're like putting in effort, okay? Okay. Or you're probably gonna meet your best friend doing this or something, right? Because they're gonna think, oh, you're on my level because you have something cool you're doing. I'm gonna get to know you. We're both the same, you know? Okay. Now, the only part we didn't do is the chorus, okay? What's the chorus? It's the part that repeats multiple times throughout the song. It's also the part that wouldn't be weird if it repeated within itself. So, chorus. This is the part that you are going to hear so many times when listening to your song. People are going to be like, I don't know why we keep hearing this part. Okay? That's the goal of the chorus. This is the part where they don't know why you keep saying the same thing and it's really weird because you're getting annoying. So make sure you get annoying, okay? This is where you give them the main theme of the song, the title, and you make sure it repeats a lot, okay? Again, a lot of people get this part wrong. Why? Because they say, oh, you have to be a genius to write a good chorus. Oh, the chorus is the reason they're famous. I could never do that. That doesn't make sense. Advertisement was the reason why they were famous because they had been doing this for a long time, and they had been doing it a long time because they either broke up with a lot of people or because it was very easy. Both of those you can do. Both of those you can do. Okay? All of that you can do. It's not hard. So, what are you gonna do? You're gonna write... Okay, say the chorus is just chorus. Well, you might want to write a few sentences in there, right? But chorus, And then you're just gonna make it repeat a bunch of times in here. We all know what song looks like this. There's a lot of songs like that, okay? You could do this for the chorus if you want. You're probably not gonna wanna only say chorus, but like, you know what I mean? Maybe the title of the song is chorus. You do this. You add in some other things you wanna say, maybe if you forgot to say it yet, okay? Whatever you wanna do, you start doing that, okay? Now you start singing this in Snapchat. And then you download it and you save it to your phone. Again, that's the part most people get wrong. Most people say, oh, we're almost done, but I don't want to be a songwriter. Never mind, I'm not good enough. So they forget to save the last part of the song that we're going to do to their camera roll. They say, never mind, it's for somebody else. Let it be for somebody else. But like for no reason, they just don't really believe in themselves. They think some imaginary person's laughing. Again, nobody was going to buy tickets. They're probably not laughing. Or you have a lot of fans that they're probably laughing because they're gonna buy tickets. So it's not that hard. If somebody's laughing, you're probably gonna make $1 billion. If nobody's laughing, you're just not at that level yet because you gotta keep going. It's not hard. So yeah, make sure you got the chorus saved to your, only one recording of yourself singing the chorus, okay? Make sure the chorus is maybe like, between, I like to do 30 seconds and 50 seconds, like between that many, but it depends on what you want to do. It depends on how long you want your song. I like to do it kind of long, but maybe you want yours 20 seconds or less than that. Whatever you want. But like, make sure you feel like you did what you want to do with it, is the whole point. Because my songs are kind of long, but like, make sure you do what you want to do with it. Okay? So yeah, make sure you have a recording of yourself singing your chorus, or saying it if you're going to be a rapper. You might only sing the bridge, or you only sing one verse or something, and then the rest is spoken or something if you're a rapper. I don't know. Or maybe you only sing the chorus, but the rest is spoken because you're a rapper now. I don't know. That's fine. But you have to, like, get started. Okay? So yeah, you're gonna actually have this saved in your camera roll. Now, I know what you're saying. So I just have these recordings of myself singing in my camera roll? What? Okay, now, here's the part where, like, if you have an iPhone, I know how to do it. I don't know how you're gonna do it on your phone if you don't have an iPhone, but you're just going to go in whatever app is basically iMovie, okay? You're gonna go in the iPhone version of iMovie, okay? You're actually going to select chorus, and you're gonna do it in this order, okay? You're gonna select chorus, verse 1, verse 2, verse 3, bridge. You're gonna put those all, that's it. That's all you're gonna select, and you're gonna make that a movie, okay? Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna go into each of the transitions in there, and you're gonna make sure it's the transition that's normal, like not the little, like, there's like an hourglass, like a laying down hourglass one. You don't want that transition. You actually want to just make it the one that's like a single line, like this, okay? Why? Because that's the like clean, normal transition. The other one's like a fade transition. You don't want that. And then there's some transitions that make noises, so you don't want those because they'll interrupt your song and what it's about, okay? So you want to make sure you have the transition that's only like one line, okay? So, then I know what you're thinking. Well, what about the structure of the song? Yeah, so you're actually gonna keep the chorus. That's why we had to put the chorus before verse 1, okay? You're actually gonna scroll right after verse 1, in between verse 1 and verse 2, you're going to add the chorus. Again, you're gonna make sure the transitions are the correct transition for those, okay? Then you're gonna go to, in between verse 2 and verse 3, you're gonna put the chorus in there again in between those, then you're gonna make sure the transitions are the right ones. Then you're gonna go in between verse 3 and the bridge, you're gonna put your chorus in there. You're gonna make sure it's the right transition. Then you're gonna go after the bridge and you're gonna add your chorus again and make sure it's the right transition. Then you're gonna save that to your camera roll, okay? Make sure you don't delete that one, okay? Go through and make sure the audio is still there for each clip, just in case, but it's normally fine. Just make sure you didn't like hit the wrong button or something, okay? Okay. So you're gonna make sure you don't delete that final one that's the long one that we just saved, okay? You're gonna delete the other, like, short little clips because you don't need them anymore, okay? Now you need some cover art and a title, okay? So how are we gonna get the cover art? Honestly, There's AI cover art out there. Some people are going to give you hate for that, so maybe you're not going to do that. Maybe you're going to take a selfie. Maybe you're going to take a good photo of yourself. You're going to go into Snapchat, put some words on there, some text, okay? Or Photoshop. You're going to put your name on there, okay? You're going to put the title of the song, whatever information you want on the cover art, okay? You're going to make the cover art a square. That's just what I do. You're going to make the cover art a square, okay? Like you're gonna edit the photo so it's a square. Crop it, okay? And you're gonna have your name on there. Your full name or your artist name, whatever you wanna go by. Okay? Now that's your cover art. Now I know what you're thinking. How do you make the cover art like a part of the video? So you're gonna go into iMovie. Okay, you're gonna add the long video we just made. Okay? You're actually going to, right after that, you're gonna hit the little plus button. You're gonna add the photo for the cover art. Oh yeah, so you might wanna make it now not a square anymore. So, you know, in Photoshop, you're gonna like tilt the photo so you can screenshot it with like the black like bars on the side, you know what I mean? If you wanna do it like how I do it. That way, it's just black sort of around your cover art, but like you probably know how to do that, but if you don't, now you do. Okay? That part, I'll even explain. So it's not hard. You can do this. Don't look stupid. Make sure it's a square, but that there's the black bars on the side so that you're not like super zoomed into your artwork, because you will look kind of stupid if you don't do that part right. Okay? You got to make sure that like there are the black bars like around the square. Okay? So they can see your cover art. Okay. Now, while they're listening to your song, they want to be looking at the cover art. They don't want to be looking at whatever you were looking at while you created the song, because that's not cool. But the cover art is cool, and that's why it's there. Okay? Again, you don't want to look stupid. You want to look really cool and really smart. And this is how you do that. So, just because it does kind of look stupid. But, yeah. So, and you don't want to look like it was like, you know, like you didn't know what you were doing. You want to look like you know what you're doing, because it's going to make you more money. Okay? Even if you don't know. But yeah. So, yeah. You're actually going to make sure that you, whatever it's called, like you disconnect the audio from the original video, and you're gonna drag that audio underneath all the way to the cover art, okay? Then, once it's all the way at the cover art, you're gonna delete in iMovie the, original video, so that way nobody can see it, because that'd be weird. They don't want to see whatever you were looking at while you were creating it, okay? That's not cool again. It's weird. So you're gonna delete that, then you're gonna go all the way over to your video you created, the audio you created, and your cover art. You're gonna drag the cover art all the way, like make it like as long as the song. You might have to add it a few times in, because it'll only let you do like 2 minutes and 30 something seconds, okay? 2 minutes, 37 seconds or something, I think. Okay. Yeah, so you're gonna, or however long, maybe they change it, but yeah. You're gonna make like the cover art, you have to kind of visualize it, you have to know what to do. So you have to make that cover art like extend so that it takes up the entirety of the space of the audio you created that you were singing. Okay? You better know what I'm saying, okay? So you want to make sure your audio doesn't get cut off, so you're going to make sure that you actually drag the audio to about like 1 or 2 seconds, or like not 1 or 2 whole seconds, maybe like 1 second or something, or like half a second, whatever. 1 or 2 seconds, okay? It doesn't matter. Like into the, okay, say like the cover art starts here, you want to wait like 1 second, 2 seconds or whatever, and then you have the audio start. And then at the end of it, you're actually going to have the audio end, and then you're going to have the cover art go like 1 or 2 seconds after that, or like half a second or whatever it is. You don't want it to get cut off, but it's not going to get like, it's not necessarily going to get cut off, but you don't want it to get cut off, so you're going to make sure it doesn't, just because like half a second could get like cut off or whatever. So, and then you're going to actually, now, you're not going to want to save this to your phone, only because later on, if you're ever working on multiple songs at the same time and they're all the same album, you're not going to know which song this is. So you're actually going to or you're going to like title in iMovie whatever the title of the song is, okay? Then you're going to copy that title in your copy and paste on your phone, okay? Okay. And then you're going to hit export. Okay, you're gonna hit export, you're going to hit YouTube. You probably already have a YouTube account. That's the goal. You're supposed to already be logged in, okay? It's okay. It's okay. You can log in really quick and then come back and do it, okay? But you're gonna hit export. You're gonna select YouTube. You're gonna wait for it to pull up your YouTube account. It's gonna pull up the video with it, so make sure you're logged into the right account before you do it. Don't have like 9 accounts, you don't know which one it's going to, you know? Like, I don't know if it uploaded or which account it's on, I don't know the password, like, don't do that, okay? Make it easy. Make it easy for yourself. You can do this. Someday they're gonna buy tickets to this. So you have to know what you're doing. You have to not be the dumbest person on the planet, okay? Because you might be, but like, make sure you're not, okay? That's the whole point. You know how many times I'm like, I'm probably the dumbest person on the entire planet, but I have to make sure I'm not, okay? Okay, so yeah, you're going to then upload it like a normal YouTube video, but you have to make sure that you put the title of the song as the title of the video. And then I just put like original song and whatever. I did like raw vocals because I didn't like process the vocals, so you can put that in there too if you want in the title, and then put like original song because you made it yourself. And then you might want to tag your state that you live in or your country you live in, wherever you are, your city if you're like somewhere super popular looking, okay? If you look cool for it, then maybe you put in your city, okay? Or whatever it is, or your state if it looks cool, okay? You don't have to, but like, you know, and then you just upload it like a normal video, you know, make sure you selected like whatever it is, like not AI generated, you know, because you didn't AI generate it, you just sung it. Yeah. Probably you select like not for children, yes, it's for adults, whatever. But like don't age restrict it, you know, whatever you do for your normal YouTube videos. Maybe you make it on, you like put it on a playlist. If it's all a part of one album, you put it on a playlist, okay? Then you get to title your album, you get to add cover art for your... Rats in the ceiling scared me so bad, but they're just playing up there. Anyway, honestly, that might be it for the video. I think now you know what to do. But yeah, if you have an album, you're gonna make it a whole playlist on YouTube. And you're gonna title that album as the title of the playlist. Okay? And you're gonna put cover art for your album on there. And it can be the same cover art for the video. It might just be related. It doesn't have to be the same cover art. You might have multiple covers. Sometimes when people eventually want to do like vinyls, they have multiple covers so they can sell you more than one. And also because the fans like to collect them and stuff. But like, maybe you just want to experiment with having multiples that are a part of the same world of the album. And it can help with like world building and stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, that's how you guys can be in the race to someday get $1 billion, while most people are trying to figure out what it would mean to even have 1 million. You could try to skip to 1 billion or 100 million or something, or 50 million, I don't know. And you could try to go on tour and stuff. If you don't start getting fans naturally, try to put like ads on the songs. I don't have money for like ads for mine, but like you get the point.